how I look in this. The reason I said it's a different story is like, okay, there's my belly, y'all. Like, it's there. It's just that from the front, it's different, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, there's so many bugs right now. Ew. Just don't want to get bit. But anyways, these are like so comfortable. So Holiday, if you're watching, I'm obsessed, and if you make these sets in like 100 other colors, I will take them, and I appreciate it. But yeah, they let my belly air out because it's like just so hot. So yeah, I love you all, and I really appreciate your positive messages. I'm just like taking my time with sharing my pregnancy, and you guys will see it when you see it. I'm getting cute stuff off. And my hair looks dark because I just showered, because it's always hot. But anyways, we're here for the V Magazine Gigi Journal Part 2. Another question I got is, where was Part 1? So Part 1 was in like 2017, I want to say. It was like a small, oh, this is another one I got. Hold on, let me just write it down so I don't forget. It was a, like, about 15 page, maybe less, maybe like 10 to 15 page insert in an actual V Magazine issue. So, like, you would get a normal V Magazine issue, then inside you pulled it out, and it was an assortment of Polaroids that I took over Fashion Month. It was like, that's why it was called Gigi Journal originally, is it was like a journal of photos and notes and like things that I took during Fashion Month of like people that I work with and that inspire me and who I love, and my friends and co-workers and stuff like that. And that was Part 1. So Part 2 became really different because the concept originally, so this is how it looks when it's out of the sun. You guys saw it earlier when it was in the sun. I'm gonna put it in the sun for 1 second so then you can see it again with the orangeness. The concept came to be because Part 2, I really wanted Part 2 to be, to involve artists that I found on social media, and we started talking about it kind of like mid last year, and it kind of at first was like, oh, maybe we'll do like more of like a normal like editorial kind of like story as the Gigi Journal, where maybe we would do like accessories and send different artists accessories that I've followed online for a long time, and then they kind of take that accessory and make it into a piece like that has to do with like their way of working. And then obviously by the time that it came around to start doing Gigi Journal Part 2, we were in the middle of quarantine, and I was like, what is gonna like, one, make sense like for this time, be relevant, be something that people like actually can connect to. Like, it just didn't really feel right to do like something that had to do with me really, or that had to do with like fashion even. And I also like realized that I wanted it to be more something that wasn't just like artists that I already follow that might already have a following. And it didn't necessarily have to do with like, I don't know, I wanted it to feel more like the world coming together to make something. Like, so many people that like don't know each other, and you know, like, I've never met these artists. These are even the ones that I follow, like that I wanted to include in the first place. Like, I never have met most of them. There's one artist that I know personally, Austin, who's a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends, and she is in it. So like 10 of them are artists that I already followed that I was a huge fan of, that I felt like I wanted to be part of the journal. And then I think 27, I'll count at the end, but 27 of them are artists who hashtagged their art, their work on Instagram. It was 5 weeks that we did the artist search. So over that amount of time, people hashtagged their work. Then me and the V Magazine team went through them. I chose my favorite artists out of all of those, and then we contacted them, gave them the theme, started emailing back and forth. Some people kind of really like knew what they wanted to do with the concept, and like that was great. It was also amazing for the artists that like gave me ideas, and we can go back and forth, and like it was more of a conversation and like a creative direction experience for how they were going to take on the concept. So the concept was Quarantine, as it's titled, but that includes either the artist's experience in quarantine or honoring essential workers. So those were the things that they could choose from. And then like over time they sent stuff back and forth, their process, and then their final images were sent in. The questionnaires, which I'll show you, are really fun. We told them that we wanted, obviously, like it to be an extension of their work. So this is it, like when it's half in sunlight. That's what's cool, is like it appears. So front cover. Then it's gonna open to, oh yeah, another thing. I'll say that at the end. So opens to my editor's letter. See here. It just talks about the process, how we chose people, then like the Black Lives Matter movement having kind of this like big resurgence during quarantine, and how I felt that going to print with this journal, because we started, like the artists started their pieces weeks before, you know, all of like the protesting and everything started. So even if they had wanted to have their pieces have something to do with the Black Lives Matter movement, it was like we were going to print. So I wanted to give space for Black American artists to comment on that if they wanted, but also like their experience obviously is valuable regardless if it has to do with the movement or not, or with the protesting or not. Like, sorry, my mom called. I think it paused. Mommy, if you're watching, you can't call me during a live, girl. What was I saying? Pregnancy brain, it's real. So not only did I want to give time for that, but also I wanted it to reflect voices, Black voices that could use pages for whatever they deemed necessary. And so and also a percentage of the proceeds will go to these 4 organizations: Black Lives Matter, NAACP, ACLU, and Campaign Zero. It explains what their missions are. And I also will be matching in donation everything that is raised from the sales. I'll be matching it in donation to those charities. So the first 2 spreads of the journal are from amazing Black American voices, leaders, creatives. I will introduce them now. This one is by Cleo Wade and DeRay McKesson, and the words are by DeRay, and then Cleo did the art in her obviously legendary and iconic text that she does her art in. You guys can find all of the contributors' tags and accounts and names in my I want to say my first post about the V Magazine Journal. I'll put it on my most recent post, so you have all their ats, but also all their ats are at the bottom of the book, so you can find them. This says, "Hope is the belief that our tomorrows can be better than our todays. Hope is not magic, hope is work." I love it. This is by the iconic Miss Patrice. She is a co-founder of Black Lives Matter. I can't believe that she's in this journal. Honestly,